So in today's class, we'll be talking about the rectifiers. What do you mean by a rectifier? A rectifier is a device which converts AC voltage to pulsating DC voltage using one or more PN junction diode. So I'll just write the definition. What is a rectifier? Rectifier is a device which converts AC voltage to a pulsating DC voltage using one or more PN junction diode. So AC, our rectifier is a device which converts AC voltage. AC is like this. This is the AC voltage and time, which converts into pulsating DC like this, maybe like this, pulsating DC. This is also one of the output of the half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, bridge rectifier. We have three types of rectifiers. Rectifier's function is to convert AC voltage into pulsating DC using one or more PN junction diode. So this is a AC voltage, this is a pulsating DC. The function of the rectifier is to convert pulsating AC into pulsating DC. So we all know the function of the PN junction diode. The PN junction diode conducts only in one direction, right? It conducts only when it is forward biased, okay, and current will flow through it. It does not conduct during the reverse bias, right? So PN junction conducts only when during the positive half cycle, and it does not conduct during the negative half cycle. That is, PN junction conducts during forward bias and does not conduct during reverse bias. So it means to say that PN junction conducts only in the positive half cycle of the AC input voltage. It does not conduct during negative half cycle of the AC voltage applied. So it means, so if this is the input applied to the diode, so diode conducts only this duration. So diode is on during this duration and diode is off during the negative half cycle, because diode conducts only on the forward bias. So when diode is reverse bias, when you are applying the negative half cycle of the input AC voltage, it is reverse bias and no current flows, hence it is off condition. Okay. So I mean to say that PN junction conducts only during positive half cycle and PN junction diode does not conduct during negative half cycle, it is in off condition. Okay. So diode conducts during the positive half cycle and diode does not conduct during the negative half cycle because it is the reverse bias. Okay. So next, some of the important characteristics of the rectifier circuit. The important characteristics of rectifier circuit. So some of the important characteristics. First one is waveform of the load current. Waveform of the load current means at the load we connect, at the output we connect a resistor. Across that resistor we take the current, that is the load current. And how does the waveform look of the load current? As we all know that rectifier converts AC into pulsating DC. It is important to analyze various characteristics of the rectifier. So it is also very important to analyze the nature of the current flowing through the load, and hence it determines this, the waveform of the load current. Load current means output current. Okay, so waveform of the load current I. Next is the regulation of output voltage. So we need to analyze the output voltage also, and it is known as regulation of the, means monitoring the output voltage. It is also very important to study the effect of the output voltage. Third one is the rectifier efficiency. How efficiently it conducts. Rectifier efficiency is a terminology which indicates the performance of the rectifier circuit. Next one is the peak value of current in the rectifier circuit. Rectifier circuit, that is, the peak value is nothing but the maximum value of the current, alternating current in the rectifier circuit. Peak value means maximum value of the current which flows in the rectifier circuit when it is in the on condition. Okay. Next one is the peak value of the voltage. Peak value of the voltage across the rectifier element, across the rectifier element in the reverse direction. So during the reverse bias, reverse voltage is applied. So inverse current will flow, inverse voltage also will flow in that. Okay, so that is nothing but when the diode is not conducting, when it is in the reverse bias, the reverse voltage gets applied across this diode. Okay, that determines the peak value of the voltage across the rectifier element in the reverse direction. In the reverse direction means when diode is not conducting, that time some voltage is there. That also we have to analyze, and it is one of the important characteristics of the rectifier circuit. One other last important parameter to be considered for the rectifier circuit is ripple factor. So ripple factor is nothing but in the output of the rectifier there is a pulsating DC. Okay, there is a pulsating DC, in that some AC content is there. Okay, output should be pulsating DC. Output should be what? Pulsating DC. But in that some AC content is there. Some AC content is there in that, and that we need to measure. Okay, and we can measure it by a mathematical expression, and that factor is called ripple factor. I repeat, output should be, the output of the rectifier should be output pulsating DC. But in that no, some AC content is there. So that we will be measuring mathematically, and that factor is known as ripple factor. The content of AC in the output pulsating DC is measured mathematically, and that factor is called ripple factor. Okay, I repeat once again, there are various important characteristics of rectifier circuit. One is the waveform of the load current. Second one is the regulation of the output voltage, then rectifier efficiency, then peak value of the current in the rectifier circuit, peak value of the voltage across the rectifier element in the reverse direction. In the reverse means when diode is not conducting. And next, ripple factor is very, very important. It gives us the noise means unwanted AC content in the output pulsating DC. That is measured by ripple factor. Okay. We have various types of rectifier circuits. First one is half wave rectifier. We call it as half wave rectifier. Second one is full wave rectifier. And the third one is bridge rectifier. Bridge rectifier. So these are the various types of rectifier circuits that can be designed by us. Okay. So now overall, rectifier is a device which converts AC into DC voltage. A PN junction diode conducts only in one direction and hence it is used as a rectifier, because as PN junction diode, this is a PN junction diode. Okay, this is P, this is N, this is anode, this is cathode. So this PN junction diode conducts only in one direction, only when it is in forward bias, and hence it is used as a rectifier. Okay. And I have listed various important characteristics of the half wave rectifier. So next, in detail, we will be studying about half wave rectifier. I will be drawing the half wave rectifier circuit. All of you look at it and please note it down in your notebooks. Half wave rectifier, here it is. So I will be drawing that. So here we have a transformer. Okay. Next we have a diode, and next we have a load resistor. We have a load resistor. Okay. Next here what we are applying, students? Here we are going to apply single phase AC. Single phase AC supply at the input side. So we are going to the AC supply, single phase AC supply. AC is how? AC is like this. Alternating current. AC we are applying alternating current, and this is input transformer. Input transformer. All of you write down, okay, as and when I write down. Input transformer. This is point A, we call it as. This is point B, okay. Next, ES is equal to, what is the secondary turn voltage? ES is equal to capital ESM into sin omega t. Always when there is a transformer, we have such kind of equations representing ES, representing the secondary voltage. There is a sine wave, no? See, you can see sin omega t. This is a sine wave. So ESM into sin omega t. So this is the diode. We have here RF resistance. This is small f. Okay. This is small f. Fine. Next, this is a load resistor, capital L. Load resistor. RL indicates load resistor. EDC, DC voltage, pulsating DC voltage at the output of the rectifier. So half wave rectifier has only one PN junction diode. So students, I'll explain the first construction of this and then I'll explain the operation of the circuit. So here you can see in the half wave rectifier we have one element, rectifying element, okay, that is a PN junction diode which conducts during positive half cycle of the input AC supply, and the negative half cycle of the AC supply are eliminated by this device. Why? Because this diode conducts only during the positive half cycle of the AC supply, okay, and this does not conduct during the negative half cycle, so it eliminates it. So this rectifier consists of what all elements? The resistive load is there, and a rectifying element, it is nothing but a PN junction diode, and the input source AC supply, input source is there, AC voltage, all are connected in series, all are connected in series, okay. So this is a circuit of the half wave rectifier, okay, which is operating with the help of the input single phase AC supply mains, and what we need to get the desired output, we need to get the pulsating DC with the help of the transformer, and transformer may be step up transformer or step down transformer according to the turns ratio, turns. So what is turns? The number of turns in the primary, the number of turns in the secondary, okay. So this is about the construction. There is a diode, there is a load resistor, the output should be pulsating DC, input applied is AC supply, alternating currents, AC supply, PN junction diode conducts only in one direction and hence it is used as a rectifier. It can be used as a rectifier, okay. So here half wave rectifier is shown with I'll write here with an AC voltage. It's AC means what? Alternating voltage. DC means what? Direct current. Having a frequency of 50 Hertz. Having frequency of 50 Hertz. Okay, so AC supply is having a frequency of 50 Hertz. So this transformer is there, no? Decides the peak value of the secondary voltage. So if N1 is the number of turns at the primary side and N2 are the number of secondary turns, then the EPM. What is EPM, students? EPM is the peak value of the primary voltage. EPM is the peak value of primary voltage. So primary voltage is at the input side, secondary voltage is at the secondary turns side. Okay, so we have one equation. I'll write here, there is no space here, so I'll write here. We have one equation, very important equation. N2 by N1 is equal to ESM divided by EPM. So in the problems it may be asked, okay. So N2 by N1, N2 is the number of turns at the secondary, number of secondary turns. N1 is the number of primary turns. So E is the voltage at the secondary side and this EPM is the voltage at the peak voltage at the primary side, okay. That is AC voltage, primary side that is the peak value of the secondary AC voltage, okay. So we can also write here what is small ES. ES is this terminal I have written here, this side. ES, what is ES is equal to secondary voltage ESM into sine omega t. Sine because it is alternating current, This is sine, isn't it? So sine omega t, ESM. So ES is equal to secondary voltage, peak value of the secondary voltage into sine omega t. Okay. So what is omega is equal to? Omega is equal to 2 pi f. What is f? F is the frequency. F is the frequency. So what is N2, student? N2 is the number of secondary turns, N1 is the number of primary turns, that is equal to peak value of the secondary side, peak value of the primary side. Okay. So this is one of the important expression, N2 by N1 is equal to ESM divided by EPM. Okay. So next we have the operation of this circuit. So operation, how does it behave? Operation of the circuit. So when the diode is forward bias, what happens? When the diode is reverse bias, what happens? We have a circuit here. So we have a diode here and a resistor here. Okay. So when we are applying the positive cycle here, okay, and this is RF, this is RL, so this is a current IL. Okay, so this is a point A, this is point B, this is plus, this is minus, because this is connected to the positive side, this is connected to the negative side. Okay, so during the positive half cycle, so diode, this is diode when it is forward biased. What happens when it is forward biased? Students, what is doing? First of all, what do you mean by biasing? Biasing is connecting any external DC voltage. Okay, any voltage externally, any voltage you are applying to a device, it is known as biasing. So when I am forward biasing, the positive terminal is connected to the positive terminal of the anode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, the cathode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. That time it is forward biased. So what happens to the diode when it is forward biased? So during the positive half cycle of the secondary AC voltage terminal A, during the positive half cycle A, that A is positive with respect to terminal B. The diode gets forward biased and the current starts flowing in the clockwise direction. Okay. So when positive is applied here and negative is applied here, the diode starts conducting and the current starts flowing in the clockwise direction. So the current will flow almost full positive half cycle. It will flow full positive half cycle and this current is also flowing through the load current, that is load resistance RL, and hence it is denoted as IL, load resistance IL. This is a load resistance. So this is a load resistance. So during positive half cycle, what happens? Diode conducts and the current starts flowing in the clockwise direction. So whatever the current was there here, the same current will come here. The same output will come here when the diode is forward biased. Next circuit, when it is reverse biased. Okay. So when it is reverse biased, we are applying a negative. So negative half cycle we are applying here to at the input side. So here RL is here. Okay. So during the negative half cycle, when diode is reverse biased, diode is reverse biased. During the negative half cycle, this is point A, it is negative, connected to the negative terminal, and this point is B, connected to the positive terminal. The diode gets reverse biased, hence no current flows, and diode acts as an open circuit, diode acts as a open circuit. Here see, this point, this is a diode, no, this is open, and there is no current flow here, no current flow. So during the reverse bias, diode is not conducting, it is in the off condition, so it is open. Because it is open, no current flows in the circuit, hence the voltage EDC at this point is 0 volts. So EDC at this point is 0 volts. So how does it conduct now? So this is a circuit, okay. This is the input AC voltage, okay. So pulsating DC, this is the AC input and this is the pulsating DC output. So during the positive half cycle of the diode, positive half cycle of the AC voltage, diode conducts, current starts, flows. This point. Here, during the negative half cycle of the AC voltage, diode does not conduct and there is no voltage, and there is no voltage means there is no current, 0 volts. 0. Next. So again, when the next one cycle is completed, next cycle positive half cycle is applied, diode conducts, then current flows, it acts as a closed circuit, so whatever the current flows, it will come here. During the negative half cycle, what happens? The diode is off, no current flows, no voltage, 0 volts, like this. So the input is applied AC, the output becomes, here when it is positive half cycle, diode conducts, so input is equal to output. When the negative half cycle comes, at that time the diode is off, no current flows, no voltage, so 0 volts. Next positive half cycle, diode is on, input is equal to output because the current flows and there is a voltage across the load resistor, hence. Okay, during the negative half cycle of the second cycle, negative half cycle, diode is off, open circuit, no current flows, hence again 0 volts. So this goes on continuous until you apply the AC voltage. So this is continuous until you switch off the AC input voltage applied. So here I will draw this. All of you draw this. Secondary voltage, okay. So at this point diode is on. At this point diode is off. So at this point diode is off. Okay, so this is one complete cycle. 0 to 2 pi is one complete cycle. 2 pi to 4 pi is another complete cycle. So what happens here? Next I will be drawing about IM, that is the load current. This indicates the load current IM. I M. This is M. This is M. IM. So current flows only during positive half cycle, because diode is on during only positive half cycle. During the negative half cycle it is not, it is off. Similarly, load voltage, same. Load voltage, it is EL. Okay, so same load voltage, it is EDC. Write down everybody, okay? Write down with me. It is EDC. This is IAC. IAC is equal to IDC. Okay, EDC. These are the average values. Average values. Voltage across diode. Voltage across diode. During the reverse direction, reverse peak inverse voltage, we call it as during reverse inverse voltage, peak inverse voltage, we call it as PIV. Peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage. So this is PIV, peak inverse voltage. Voltage across diode when it is in reverse condition. Peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage. Hope you have copied it down. So I'll just explain this. During the positive half cycle, the diode conducts, so voltage is applied and the current also flows in clockwise direction. Hence, it is shown input is equal to output with some voltage drop, because across the resistance there is some voltage drop. Okay, so when there is a diode is in the reverse bias, diode is off during the negative half cycle, so no current, no voltage. Next, similarly it continues, so voltage and the current are shown in this, and when the diode is reverse biased, at that time peak inverse voltage is shown here, you can see. So everywhere you have to write pi, okay, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. Okay, you should write it, okay? All of you should write it. Pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi. 0 to 2 pi is considered to be one complete cycle. One complete cycle. I just draw it and show. This is a complete cycle. 0 to 2 pi. So we usually measure the average voltage, average current for one complete cycle. For one complete cycle. Okay. Next. So this waveform I have shown you. Okay. So half wave rectifier gives the output in the form of positive sinusoidal pulses. It gives only positive, it gives only the output positive pulsating DC. Okay, so it is called as, hence the output is pulsating DC. Pulsating DC. There is a DC here, pulsating DC. Okay, so this is the output waveform of the half wave rectifier circuit. Next, take down all of you. Average DC load current. We call it as IDC. There are some expressions related to the half wave rectifier circuit. First one is average DC load current, IDC. So average or DC value of the alternating current is obtained by, average value is obtained by integration. It is obtained by integration, okay, with respect to one cycle. For finding out the average value of this alternating waveform, we will determine the area under the curve. Area under the curve. In order to find out the average load current, now we should find out the area under the curve. We have to determine it, area under the curve, for one complete cycle. For one complete cycle, okay, that is from 0 to 2 pi. That is from 0 to 2 pi, and then divide it by, then divide it by 2 pi. So this is how we need to find out the average values. We need to calculate, integrate it for the area from 0 to 2 pi and then divide it by the base, that is 2 pi. Okay. So mathematically we need to write it as mathematically current waveform can be described as follows. So students, load current I, capital L, is equal to Im, peak current across the rectifier circuit, Im sin omega t for the duration 0 less than omega t less than or equal to pi, and next it is 0 for pi less than equal to omega t less than equal to 2 pi. Because how does the voltage, see here, output voltage is how? It is like this, then 0. So for 0 to pi, okay, it is Im sin omega t. For pi to 2 pi, it is 0. For this it is Im sin omega t for positive half cycle. For negative half cycle, the output is 0. Hence the current is also 0 because diode is not conducting. Diode is not conducting, it is in the reverse biased. So during the negative half cycle of the AC voltage applied, diode is reverse biased, no current, no voltage, so 0. Hence 0 to, for the time duration 0 to pi there is current. For the duration pi to 2 pi there is no current. So mathematically we can write it like this, 0. Okay. So now what is Im? Im is a peak value. I told you, peak value of load current. Peak value of load current. Im is the peak value of the load current. Okay. So let me write it now in the next page. Hope you know it. For the 0 to pi, there is a current Im sin omega t. For pi to 2 pi, the current is not there, so it is 0. So let me do the derivation completely in the next page. Okay. So let me write here. IDC, I am finding out average load current, IDC. So IDC is found out by integrating for the one complete cycle and dividing it by 1 by 2 pi. So 1 divided by 2 pi for one complete cycle, integration for one complete cycle 0 to 2 pi, IL, load current IL, d omega t. This can also be written as 1 by 2 pi 0 to 2 pi. So what is IL? Here it is written. So what is IL? IL is Im sin omega t. IL is Im sin omega t for the duration 0 to pi, otherwise it is 0. Im sin omega t. So I'll write here 0 to 2 pi. IL is what? IL is Im sin omega t. I'll just write it. Replacing IL with Im sin omega t omega t. Okay. So as no current flows during the negative half cycle, no current flows during negative half cycle of AC input voltage. No current flows during the negative half cycle of the AC input voltage, that is from omega t is equal to pi to omega t is equal to 2 pi. So we can limit the integration. We can limit integration from 0 to pi, right? Because from pi to 2 pi it is 0. From 0 to pi there is current, and this current is Im sin omega t. So we can limit the integration limits from 0 to pi. Pi to 2 pi it is 0, na? So anyways it is 0. So only we will limit it from 0 to pi. So IDC is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi 0 to pi Im sin omega t d omega t with respect to omega t. This is equal to, so after substituting Im by 2 pi cos of pi minus cos of 0, we will get here minus, this minus is there, no, minus cos omega t, this minus will come outside. Cos, we are putting the limits, cos of pi is minus 1, cos of 0 is 1, minus 1 is minus 2. So here we'll get cancelled, 2 will get cancelled, and we'll get Im by pi. IDC is equal to Im by pi. So I'll write here average DC current is equal to IDC is equal to Im by pi. This is the answer. Next, by applying KVL, Kirchhoff voltage law. So by applying Kirchhoff voltage law, we can write as Im is equal to peak voltage, peak current is equal to secondary voltage divided by V by R. We all know that I is equal to V by R, Ohm's law. Similarly, I is equal to V means E means voltage, secondary VSM means secondary voltage, RF plus RL plus RS. So Im is equal to ESM divided by RF plus RL plus RS. So RS is what? Resistance of the secondary winding. RS is resistance of secondary winding. Okay, RS is the secondary winding of the resistance of the secondary winding of the transformer. If RS is not given, it can be neglected. You can take this as a Im. Im is equal to ESM divided by RF plus RL. RL is load resistance. This is an internal diode resistance. RL is load resistance. RS is resistance at the resistance of the secondary winding. So this is the equation for Im you can substitute IDC. IDC is equal to this one, okay. IDC is equal to IM, you can substitute this equation and then write it. So IDC can also be written as ESM divided by RF plus RL plus RS divided by pi. So this IDC can be written as IM divided by pi. IM is equal to V by R, ESM divided by RF plus RL plus RS. You can write this IDC. So IDC is equal to IM by pi.